I have trained you your whole lives to protect the city above. But I fear you are not ready for its greatest threat.
Well, it's about the four turtles, so it's a lot like the movies we've seen in the past in terms of their relationship with each other. But it's really funny. I want people to know that. I want them to understand, like, there's a lot of humor in this movie. There's obviously a lot of action in the movie. And it's just a story of these brothers that love each other, but they also fight with one another, and they're finding their way as a family, and trying to sort of find their way in society, really, because they're outcasts. They can't come above ground because they would be regarded as freaks, so it's them sort of struggling with that also. But it's also just about them being badass ninjas.
Sure. Ninja Turtles it's a movie about a dysfunctional family where the brothers happen to be turtles and the father's a rat, and they have to overcome this dysfunction to save the world.
Give me the camera.
Oh, look, he's doing his Batman voice.
Back off, rat!
It was amazing. I mean, Megan is a brave actress. She put a lot of herself into the role. She pushes the limits. Will is incredibly funny and was someone who helped me a lot to develop the comedy between him and Megan. An amazing team. William Fichtner is a great actor.
A little bit, yeah. She's not a damsel in distress, and she's not afraid to get in there and fight if she has to, because she's pursuing this story initially, and then she finds out that the story she's pursuing is actually really relevant to her, because it's connected to her father, which is something that's really emotional for her. So then she sort of gets tied into the turtles in a familial way, which she wasn't expecting.
Go! This is our city! That's what I'm talking about! Like shadows in the night, completely unseen.
Who's that? It's a camera flash.
But I was a little kid, and I watched the cartoon, but I always loved the movies more. Those are my favorites, and I still watch them now. And I watch the new cartoon that's on now, and I like that.
There's a lot of influence of the other movies, of the cartoons, and of very early comics, the first comics ever written of the Ninja Turtles. To keep the charm, that was important to me, and then also to have this big Michael Bay action scope and put them together.
Well, there were actors in the suits, so it was easy to act with them because they were all really talented. But it's always a little hard because you have to remember, like, you know, the turtles are 6'8" or 6'9" or 7 feet, so you're always having to, like, sort of look above the person that's talking to you, and you learn to love the actors, and so then you have to sort of turn that off when you're in a scene, if you're in a part where you're supposed to be afraid of them, because you love them and, like, you feel really familiar with them. So stuff like that is hard, I guess, but it was way easier than Transformers because there was nothing there for Transformers. It was just me and Shia, like, yelling at the sky.
I love technology and it's difficult, but Pablo Hellman and Industrial Light and Magic, who are geniuses, they made it very easy for me.
Well, initially, when we filmed it, I was in every scene, and so I was just working a lot, and I had a baby at home, and I was also pregnant. So I think it was just like, you know, working 18 hours a day, regardless of what you're doing, whether you're an actor, or you're working at a restaurant, or you're painting, or whatever you're doing, that's a long day. And when you're pregnant, it's a really long day.
Next level.
Shredder. 4 turtles, one's fighting a robot samurai.
Come on!
I always ask Michael for advice. His advice was make sure they're charming. Make sure the turtles are always charming. So for me, every day, I was thinking that in my head. Making sure the turtles were charming. It's very difficult because in a way, it's difficult to make turtles real and special effects real, but it's more difficult to have charming characters. You know, and to have characters, to create characters that people care about. And fortunately, the Ninja Turtles are so beloved that all I had to do was go back to what was created before and look at it and maintain those characters, and then the charm was maintained. And that was the most difficult part, to make sure that they were entertaining and as lovable as they used to be. That's a team of people. What happens is you have it in your head, you're making the storyboards, and then you're going to the team of your stunt guys, your cameraman, Michael Bay, Industrial Light and Magic, and you're showing them the drawings. You say, how do you think I can make this real? And you're getting a lot of advice from people and putting it into practice.
Surveillance is showing heavy Foot Clan activity.
They're taking hostages. Let's rock and roll.
Yeah, I mean, I love how they look. I think it's hard to make them look too cute, because then they don't fit in the environment that we created in this New York City and the way we shot this movie. It's, you know, it's very realistic looking, and so we sort of needed them to really look like mutated monster turtles, because that's what they are. And I think it's okay. I think people need to relax and just have an open mind, and it's okay if they look a little bit different. The point is their personalities are the same. And this is just, they've looked, have you ever seen the first drawing of the Ninja Turtles? The one that Eastman did? I mean, they don't look anything like that. They've had different faces throughout the years, so it's okay. People will deal with it. They'll appreciate it. They'll forget about it, and then they'll love it.
It was important to Michael that this time we can tell the difference between the turtles visually. Very quickly, you see the silhouette, you know which one it is. And I agree with that. And so we went down the road where Raphael was very inspired by Clint Eastwood. You know, Leonardo was inspired by Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan. Michelangelo inspired by Bill Murray, Donatello inspired by by Spock. You know, to me, it was just important to have these be individuals. You know, and that was something we can add from the movies before.
Because he's funny and he's charming and he's not too serious, and you need that kind of levity in life, and you need it in the movie, because if they were all Raphael, we would be like, oh God, this movie's so long. If they were all Leo, he's too serious, and Donnie's kind of mildly afraid of everything, so that wouldn't work either. And you need that. You need the wisecracking, sense of humor, funny guy. And I love him.
For me, it's Raphael, because I like watching in the movie how he goes from the path of selfish, becoming more selfless, and being there for his family.
So they're aliens?
No, that's stupid. They're turtles.
Is there anything else we should know about them?
They're ninjas.